Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. Peace, love, and blessings. First and foremost, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach Hadash. Double honors to all of the apostles, the elders, the prophets, and the disciples that are sincerely giving this 100% truth. And today I wanted to get into the part 3 of the original color of the Israelites according to the Bible. The original color of the Israelites according to the Bible. This is part 3, and this is called Confusion of Face. Okay? Because, see, in the beginning, everybody was very dark. And then, I even showed you. And then throughout captivity after captivity, we were being intermingled with the other nations. So, let's just get right into it. Let's start with Book of Hebrews. Chapter 5, and we're gonna I'm just gonna read verse 12 for you real quick before we get into this. Let's start here. Let's start right here. Hebrews chapter 5 and 12. For when the time ye ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. So what is it talking about that you have need of milk? Let's go to the book of Isaiah. And we're going to go to chapter 28, and we're going to start at verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge? Whom shall he make understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. The milk is the basics in the Bible. To learn those basics and to be pulled from that's your foundation. That's how you're weaned from the milk and you're drawn from the breast. You got to learn the basics. Babies don't have teeth, therefore they can't eat meat. And there's one more thing I wanted to mention. So we're going to make this very simple is what I'm trying to tell you. We're going to make it very simple for you. I'm going to make it more milk than meat. But I do also want to mention this. Because we're going into the confusion of face class, we need to start at John 7 and 24. And this is Yahushua speaking. It's in red. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Now that we've got that out the way, let's jump over to the book of Romans. Chapter 1. And I've actually taught this class before, but I'm teaching it again because it lines up with the other two classes I've taught about the original color of the Hebrew Israelites. So with that being brought out, I have to bring this class out again to put it in the right order. But let's go to Romans chapter 1 and verse 13. Now I would not have you ignorant, brethren, that oftentimes I proposed to come unto you, but was let hitherto, that I might have some fruit among you also, even as among other Gentiles. So when he's talking about the fruit of thy loins, he's talking about descendants. Are we related through our forefathers? I want to find out if you're also Israelites. So I need to talk to everybody at this day and age because we've been mingled and scattered to the four corners of the earth. And at this time with Paul, we we had just been mingled at this time, and we had been scattered around, but we're not fully scattered to the four corners yet. I mean, we do have people over here in the Americas already and everything, but we're still being scattered at this time. And Paul knows this, so he's looking for other Israelites to try and wake them up. Let's prove it. Because I said that I may find fruit among you. So let's go to Genesis 1 and prove. I'm just going to prove that I'm going to prove right now, because of where we're at in this society, I need to prove everything. I need to prove all things. So first we're going to start at Genesis and go right back to the beginning, and I'm going to prove something about the seed. So let's go to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 11. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding fruit after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And it was so. So, as a man, we have a seed within ourselves that we can distribute. Okay? Okay? Let's go to verse 12. And the earth brought forth grass and herb yielding seed after his kind. You are the seed of your father. And the tree yielding fruit whose seed was in itself. How are men? We have our seed within ourselves, after his kind. You are the seed of your father. And Yahweh saw that this was good. He saw that it was good. So let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22. I want to show you guys something else real quick. Because now we know that we are the seed of our father. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 22, and we're going to start at verse 9. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. So in other words, Israel has 12 tribes, all kinds of different people in those 12 tribes. The Most High saying, stay with your own people. And there's a good reason for that too. A really good reason. And we're about to find out. But he's saying, keep your seed with your people. That's what it means. Don't go with these diverse seeds. You know why? I'm going to show you right now. Let's first let's go to the book of Daniel. Because, no, you know what? We're going to skip that for right now and go right to the book of Ezra. And we're going to go to chapter 9. And we're going to start at verse... Let's go to verse 2. For they have taken their daughters for themselves and their son and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and the rulers have been chief in this trespass. So what did they do? They went out and mingled themselves with the other people of the different nations. And our rulers were the first ones to do it, so we started following suit. We followed after our leaders. So let's go to Daniel 9. I just got to bring this out. We're going to start at chapter 9, start at verse 5. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity, we have done wickedly, we have rebelled indeed by departing from the precepts and from thy judgments. Neither have we hearkened unto the servant, the prophets, which spake in the name of our king, our princes, our fathers, and to all the people of the lands. O Yahweh, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces at this day, to the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, to us belong confusion of face, to our kings, our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. So, have you ever tried to bake something? Let's say you went to bake a cake, but you put salt in it instead of sugar, but you didn't realize that you were doing it wrong, but you thought that you were doing the right thing. And when you got finished, you went to taste the cake, and it tasted horrible. And you were confused, like, what did I do? I don't understand. That's what it's talking about. That's my example for you. That's the confusion of faith. You guys don't even know what you're doing wrong anymore. You've been doing it so long. But these guys, they did. And they still didn't understand it. Let's go back over to the book of Ezra. Chapter 9. And now let's read verse 7. Because now that we were the chief in this trespass, let's find out what kind of trespasses we were doing. And they made a proclamation throughout Judah and, that's chapter 10. Sorry. Ezra, chapter 9, verse 7. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day. For our iniquities we have our kings, for our iniquities have we our kings, our priests, been delivered unto the hand of the king of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to the spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day. So, showing you right there that we don't understand very much, do we? We're always wondering, well, how did this happen to us? But then we go right back into sin like it's no problem. Let's keep going. Because I want to go over to the book of Chronicles of the King, First Chronicles, chapter 9, and we're going to start at verse 1. So all Israel were reckoned by genealogies, and behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgressions. So I'm going back into genealogy right now because I'm telling you, you are the seed of your father. Seed is sperma. And what is, okay, so that's your genealogy. Let me prove that. Let me prove that. Let's go to Numbers. I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm going to bring it all together here. Chapter 1. And verse, we're going to go to 1 and Numbers chapter 1 and verse 18. And it says, and they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers. You're the pedigree of your father. Okay? Keep that in mind. According to the number of the names from 20 years and upward by their polls. Keep in mind, you are the pedigree of your father. What does the word pedigree mean? Let's see. A line of ancestors from which a person or a tribe descends, also known as genealogy. You are the seed of your father. So, the reason why I'm bringing all this out is because in this day and age, since we've mingled ourselves amongst the other nations, we don't look the same. We don't act the same. We don't talk the same. We have none of our culture because it's been beaten out of us. We've got Israelites in all four corners of the earth. And now it's time for us all to wake up. So how are you going to tell who's an Israelite these days? Because we know according to the scriptures, everybody was black. But then we also know according to the scriptures that we mingled ourselves amongst the other nations. We also know according to the scriptures that we were punished for not keeping the laws and spread to, like I said, the four corners of the earth. We look like all the other nations. Go to Romans chapter 8. Since we look like all the other nations, how are we going to tell who our people are versus the other people? So we go over to the book of Romans. We go to chapter 8, and this is how you should live your life from now on, knowing that we're not just all black or all white or all Mexican or all Chinese. We're all different, and we're all the same at the same time. It's about a bloodline. It's about a pedigree. It's about a genealogy. It's about being the seed of your forefathers. Who are your forefathers? So, Romans 8 and 5, since we can't look at each other and tell who we are any longer, Romans 8 and 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, things of the Spirit. Verse 6. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Let me read one more. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So, people that are after the worldliness are going to do worldly things, and they're going to go after what the world goes after. Like today they're celebrating Christmas. That's the only place in the scriptures that says is that I hate your feast days. Don't put a tree in your house. But they're worldly, so they go after the worldliness. They're carnally minded. So it's like they worship death. When you're carnally minded, you worship death. But when you're spiritually minded, you worship life and truth. It says so. The spiritually minded is life and peace. What is peace? Peace is knowing the truth. How could you be at peace without knowing the truth? Let me get one more and I'm gonna close it out there. Because this was just let me get two more. Let me get Romans, let's jump up to verse 16. For the Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. So when you get around other people, their spirit's literally going to tell you who they are. Now, whether you accept or receive the message, that's up to you. You can go into denial because you like the person, or you can just receive what the Spirit tells you. One more, and then we're going to shut it down. Go to the book of Hosea. We're going to go to chapter 7 and verse 8. Strangers have, verse 8. This is the last one, I'm going to close it out here. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself amongst the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. Ephraim, yes, you've mingled yourself amongst the people, but being a cake not turned doesn't mean half the family's white, half of it's black. I mean, carnally, yeah, I guess it could mean that. But what it's saying is, since the beginning, Ephraim, you have not changed. This whole northern kingdom is still out here celebrating Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, getting ready for New Year's, and ready to party it down on Hennessy night and all this weird ass shit that you shouldn't be doing. The scriptures teach against this. But here you are. Here you are. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself amongst the people. Ephraim is a cake not turned. You have not changed in all this time. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. You don't even know. You think that you're having a good time. You're in a good position. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Yea, gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth it not. You don't even know it. You're getting old. You haven't changed since the beginning. These people devoured you. And you know what? You don't even care. You don't even know. It hasn't even crossed your mind yet. But if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, this was the third part of the original color of the Hebrew Israelites according to the scriptures. Like I said, I hope you're able to get something out of this short message. Shalom.